A very good evening and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And we are here to look at some of the information which is available online regarding the assassination of Comrade Saruwaka. According to International Cables Network, they say that Kudzai Saruwaka's assassination did not happen as a result of e-health, motor vehicle accident, food poisoning, or drowning. They say that they've gathered exclusive intelligence details, and this is what we are going to be talking about in a few minutes. So they're saying that Saruwaka left Zimbabwe in a half after receiving a tip-off that a team of lethal system operatives had been assigned to deal with him regarding his close association to late Blessed Geza and their spirited anti-23 campaign. And then Saruwaka flew out of Zimbabwe on the 20th of October 2025. And I think those are the same days where other comrades like Mazibabwe Shanduko, they were later arrested because they were together in Zimbabwe. And Mazibabwe Shanduko was left in Zimbabwe and was subsequently arrested. And apart from his political activism, Saruwaka was in the mercantile business or branded door and entrance wool rugs, mats and carpets, which he occasionally advertised online. In early November, I received a business call in which a potential client ordered some of his merchandise, and on 20th November, 9,000 rand was paid into his account. And the initial payment was quickly followed by two other payments, and in a few weeks later. And what surprised Comrade Saruwaka is that the client never expedited any of the payments through EFT, but chose to deposit via ATMs. After the successive payments, the mystery client went silent and never supplied Kudzai with a delivery address. And Comrade Saruwaka then tried on several occasions to reach out to the client, but to his surprise, the number was no longer in use. And he got suspicious and decided to play safe, and he reported the transaction to the police. And in January 2026, there was no trace of the client. And then Comrade Saruwaka went back to the police to update the police, and he asked the police of their help in tracing the mysterious client. And suddenly, last week, the client called Kudzai with another number and asked him to deliver the consignment in the Mabopane area in Pretoria, and he sent a location. Upon checking the surroundings via mobile, Saruwaka realized it was a secluded bush area with no buildings at all. And in hindsight, Kudzai hired a Uber which took him and his delivery consignment to the given location. As he was about to reach, he called the number, and again it was no longer going through. A few moments later, the mystery client called with another number, telling him to come to another location, which was a bit further into the bushy area. And when Comrade Saruwaka arrived at the location, two gunmen appeared from the bush, and they started firing at the Uber vehicle. And before he could come out of the vehicle, they both died on the spot. So this is something which is very important, and this is what we have. So I think the police gave feedback to Comrade Saruwaka's business associates. They say that nothing was stolen from the car, including the delivery consignment, and this case cannot be called a robbery, but a murder case. So this is what is happening at this point in time. Both Comrade Saruwaka and the Uber driver lost their lives, and this is a case of assassination according to the available information so far. So many people are asking questions. How did he not suspect that this was a dirty transaction? So I think sometimes when you're about to die, sometimes your judgment becomes quite poor, but it happens in life. That is life. So my blame is on the people who organize this, to say they really want to eliminate someone simply because of political differences. We differ politically, and you don't need to take away life from someone because of that. That is inhuman. Okay, one of the most important comments is coming from Kerina Mjati. She says Kasukwere ndiye anofanira kupindura mibvunzo yese iyi. Why is it all his boys are arrested and dying, some going back to ZANU-PF? Okay, so according to Kerina, there is need for Ndara Kasukwere to be explaining what is really happening, because probably it's believed that these people, they are linked to Tyson. So are they saying Tyson is the one who was behind Ndara Geza? Is very interesting to note at this point in time. Okay, Gushungo says as he was about to reach, he called the number again. It was no longer going through. A few moments later, the mystery client called with another number, telling him to come to another location a bit further into the bushy area. Okay, okay, Zvikanzi, nothing was stolen as reported. Their phones were intact and call logs were still showing. Do you believe that detectives can access this and connect the dots? Okay. All right. So we were to see kuti madetails acho anga atobuda nguwai, because I think this is a matter inenge ichiri under investigation and it's very difficult to get all those details. Hans Panapa forensic investigations at the scene can even easily give us such information away. Different gun shells and footprints through the grass to the car, very easy. Okay, and he should have trusted his instincts. Why was he going to the bush? Okay, so I think Vana Zimbabwe, we no longer know kuti rufu runotisvikira panguva ipi, but chatiri kufanira kunyanya kungwarira ma-associations, chatiri kufanira kunyanya kungwarira mafambiro nemaitiro nemagariro edu. If you are opposing this regime, it's wise to turn down most transactions. If you have a business, make sure that you have a shop where people come and buy, and make sure that someone else advertises on your behalf, or you use ghost accounts to advertise your business. I think that is the best way. Why? Is because these vouchers, they will pounds and pounds, simply because they don't want anyone to stop the 2030 agenda or to oppose the 2030 agenda. So one way or the other, whether this version is true, is correct, is false, what we need to understand is you need to be very serious and very careful, because the bottom line is the young man lost his life. So we are not looking at the authenticity of this statement, how authentic it is or not, but it's a matter of us taking caution. Let us try by all means possible, Zimbabwe, to take some caution and not to do things which might jeopardize our security. If you are opposing ZANU-PF, you need to make sure that you 100% secure. But another challenge is when you do not have the means, when you do not have enough income, and you are running a business. So if somebody comes your way wanting to buy something, you can't deny that money or that transaction, because you need to feed your family, you need to do to do a lot of things. So you end up in trouble because of such activities. Okay, so many things do not add up, Panyai, in my own view. So many things do not add up, Panyai. As a political person and as a person who is security conscious, you would have asked the questions: why am I going into a secluded area? Why am I going into a bushy area? But as I said, Shona inoti chinoda kufa chinovingira. That is what Shona says. Okay. Hanzi panapa hanzi in essay, Uber doesn't do trips to secluded places. It warns you. Okay. It depends on what Uber EP. We're not so sure about that. Hanzi was suspicious of funds being deposited into his account and the person going mute, but couldn't see anything wrong with being called out into a bush with no one but two different numbers. Okay, with not one but two different numbers. Okay, so a lot of people believe kuti chinyaya chichabikwa, but one way or the other, what is important in this matter is we lost a life simply because someone wants to stay far too long in power. May he so rest in peace.